No, I love the fickleness of celebrity. No, I really do. I remember meeting and becoming very good friends, in fact, with the late and brilliant comedian Bob Monkhouse. Who remembers him? A wonderful quiz master, comedy writer, raconteur, brilliant in cabaret, but also great at doing those award speeches. You know, people said Bob was smarmy. He was just a genius. And he basically said at this royal event, which I attended, that in fact, once you'd fake sincerity, you could do incredibly well in the world of show business. And I think, you know, he obviously meant it as a joke, but he was right, because consequently you see all these celebrities faking that fake love with each other, you know, the Gwyneths, the Meghans, all that sort of stuff. And behind the scenes, they can't stand one another because truly they're rivals. It's a competitive game, the world of show business, you know. It doesn't matter whether you have, you know, a wonderful singing voice. You put another singer next to another singer to sing a duet, and they'll almost bust a lung making sure they hold that note on longer, stronger, and more importantly, to the death, because they want you to notice them. They work a little bit harder. It's a little bit like this particular story regarding Meghan and one of her now main nemesis that could be problematic for Meghan moving forward. As ever, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today in the very heart of London. Welcome back, one and all, and of course, welcome brand new subscribers. We'll have a lovely wave. Nice to have your company. Cast your mind back a few years, and if you think about it, Meghan Markle was the queen for a short while, wasn't she, of the glossies, particularly with this man, Edward Enninful. Remember him? Oh yes, she liked Edward. And then, of course, he was the best friend, and they discussed many things over steaming mugs of mint tea, or I think it was, or green tea. And now they don't speak. No, that's show business, you see. Vanity Fair, another glossy, that went wrong. And then I think, well, it was Harper's. I think that didn't go particularly well either. It's fascinating, you know, because you just get through things, but you're not allowed to bring it up because, oh, it's also negative if you do, right? Now, this is where this becomes really difficult for Meghan Markle, because Meghan and her team are absolutely desperate to get back in with Vogue, particularly as they're on the cusp of a new editorial team. Anna Wintour, you know, is now departing. She's sort of been the overlooker of whatever. But at 75, I believe she is, and she looks terrific. I know Anna, she's a nice woman. And the bottom line is, you know, she's probably just taking a step back and wants to enjoy some time of her life. Why not, you know? And you might also say that Condé Nast are looking to, shall we say, revitalise some of the things like Vogue, which have recently tanked with the wrong misfires of front covers. You know, Vogue really is all about glamour. This woman's about glamour. That's right, the former Spice Girl known as Victoria Beckham. Now, I've known Victoria for a few years now. In fact, I remember doing one of the very first interviews with the Spice Girls. This was before their hits and everything. Lovely bunch of girls, but you know when you know that they know they're going to be famous. Now, I've got to be blunt. Nobody knew how famous they were going to be. Obviously, you couldn't predict that because there was a lot of girl groups around at the time, you know, All Saints, Atomic Kitten, all that sort of stuff. But they exploded. And Victoria Beckham had something. People don't really always think that, but she did. You know, you had the loud one in the Leeds-born Mel B. Mel C had a nice voice. Baby Spice was kind of fun. Ginger was out there. But, you know, Victoria Beckham, there was something that you did watch about her, even though she was dubbed posh. Now, cast your mind forward 30 years now, right? Think about this. She's being considered to be the new editorial boss of Condé Nast Vogue. Kid you not. But here's where the media have got it wrong. In fact, she doesn't really want to take on that full-time job, I've been told. Again, that could all change with the contract, the money, whatever. But what they would like her to be is sort of a contributing editor, an editor at large, you know, covering the big sort of events, bringing the latest fashions, the trends, that sort of stuff. What a full circle this would be for Victoria Beckham. Worse, though, for Meghan Markle, because now Victoria would have the say, nay, whatever, of what goes into Vogue. And who did Meghan fall out with over, apparently, Victoria Beckham selling stories about her and Harry to the media? This is the thing. Now, there's no way that there's a love-in that's going to happen. I know Victoria, as I say, lovely girl, no axe to grind, probably not even interested in this particular battle now with Meghan. But Meghan will be doing everything in her power to try and swing it back. Oh, it's a mistake, let's blame the media. Watch this unfold as the drama unfolds for Vogue. Does she have a chance to win her back? Well, Meghan will have to do something pretty spectacular for Vogue to be interested. At this stage, I think we're just at the level of Us Weekly and People magazine. The glossies have moved on in Meghan's life, like so many things. New Sean in the very heart of London.